Gen Z, they're reshaping the future of shopping.
If you're building a business in India today and you aren't obsessed with the Gen Z, you are building for a dying market.
Gen Z.
To decode this shift, today we have Akhil from NoBroker, Sameer from Axis Bank, and Madhivanan from Apollo 24/7.
When it comes to personal loans, 50% of loans are given to Gen Zs.
50%?
Yeah.
They want consumption. So they don't shy away from paying.
And this is where the credibility of influencers, social media plays a big role.
A lot of AI is being consumed by them. So we deploy AI agents where you can say, okay, you have a question or you tell us more about it.
Does this happen on WhatsApp?
It happens on WhatsApp. People prefer WhatsApp calling much more these days.
Akhil sir, tell me about buying and renting, sir. Whether buying is better or renting is better, because you do both and you're a beneficiary of both.
Average age of buying a house was 40, 41. Now it has come down to 31. There are multiple reasons for that. One is,
What are the three biggest white spaces in the health and wellness space?
Here, skin is huge. You know, which is a discipline which is in most demand?
Which one, sir?
Dermats. Market is booming like mad. Imagine if I have 100 cohorts of 100,000 each. One guy buying Muscle Blaze, the other guy buying Monjaro, which has become the #1 brand in 4 months.
In 4 months. How do we build trust with Gen Z?
They are never my most loyal customers.
I don't believe in this nonsense because
Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to the Indian Business Podcast. Today, we are discussing one of the biggest disruptions facing the economy, and that is the rise of Gen Z. Well, I was doing some study on Gen Z. I discovered some fascinating stats. This generation drinks 28% less alcohol, so they would rather buy a protein shake than grabbing a cocktail. This is a generation that doesn't discover products merely by search, but through discovery. They trust Instagram creators more than Bollywood actors. And most importantly, this is a generation that expects 10 minutes delivery. So even a 15-minute delivery feels like a failure to this generation. And if you're a business building for the new India, you can't build it without obsessing over Gen Z. Which is why today we have 3 prime witnesses to the rise of Gen Z. Sameer sir, you are seeing banking at perhaps the best vantage point, because of which you can give us all the insights about Gen Z so that anybody who's building in fintech or for banking, they can understand your perspective and build upon that. Madhi sir, you are seeing this in healthcare. So when I say Gen Zs are more health-centric and they go to buy electrolytes, they're buying it from you. So you know it better than anybody else. And Akhil sir, you are at NoBroker, a prime witness of how the Gen Z is maybe renting more than buying. And this buy versus rent debate affects you more than anybody else.
Yeah.
So today, I want this to be a masterclass addressing 3 very important questions. Firstly, we want to understand how is the Gen Z fundamentally different from other generations? Secondly, how do we build trust with Gen Z? And last and most importantly, as a brand, how do you differentiate yourself in this noisy world that we're living in? Back in the 90s, you had a few commercials and you had only TV as a medium of advertisement. At best, you could consider radio. But today we have so many mediums that it almost looks like every single piece of content you consume is an ad. So it is very, very difficult for brands to differentiate themselves in this media content obsessed world. So if we can crack the code to these 3 questions, I think we would have fulfilled the purpose of this podcast. Shall we get started?
yes,
So gentlemen, tell me, how do you think this generation is different from all other generations that have come before? Sameer sir?
So I think three, four things I would say. First, in terms of how they consume, and I'll talk about financial services. Second, in terms of how they make their choices. And third, in terms of how they buy. What they do in financial services, just to provide some context, Gen Z is about 28-30% of India. But if you look at the deposits in the country, Gen Z is about 4% of deposits. They are about 16% of loans. Now, here's the interesting fact. When it comes to personal loans, which is consumption loans, 50% of loans are given to Gen Zs.
50%?
Yeah. What does this mean? The fact that 4% of deposits is with Gen Z is I would say one part of that is life stage, which is when you enter the workforce, you don't have much money, hence your bank balance is not very large. But it is also the consumption trend. There is consumption happening, and hence balances are not that high. And also, by the way, on the other side, the borrowing that these people are doing are all consumption loans. Right? These are all personal loans, unsecured loans, small ticket loans. In the last 4-5 years, there was a time when loans less than 50,000 rupees were approximately 75% of all the loans given out. Right? And this was primarily given to Gen Zs. One, I would say, is consumption. Two, I would say, is ease of credit. The third one, I would say, is this gamification, or if I were to use a little maybe negative tone, it is trying to make a quick buck. The total number of mutual fund subscribers in this country is about 58 million, approximately 6 crores. The largest real money gaming platform in the country had 260 million subscribers. 90% plus, this data is released by SEBI, so 90% plus, I think the number was 93 if I remember right, of traders actually lose money, but they are still in the market doing this F1, etc., etc. So the first one was consumption, second one was the willingness to take credit, and the third is gamification.
People, there are two very important call to actions for all of us from Sameer sir's answer. If you're a business owner selling to the Gen Z consumer, please note two things. Number one, for every product you sell in every channel, you need to make sure that you give them an option for EMI. So if you're selling a course, partner with Bajaj Finance type companies so that you can break a 30,000 rupee course into 5,000 rupees a month, or a 20,000 rupee sneaker into 4,000 rupees a month EMI, because this generation wants to consume, but it doesn't have enough purchase power yet. And secondly, to understand how to build insanely well gamified products, check out this book called Hooked by Neeriyal. It has a blueprint on how to turn a product into a habit forming product. And now back to the pod. Madhi sir, how do you see this behavior translate for healthcare?
Healthcare is associated with more of the older age group, later life stages. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that the Gen Z is not involved. What they are more interested in, if you have to go back to our lives, hitting a gym, doing more excursions. So wellness as a term started getting incorporated into the healthcare industry. Healthcare never understood wellness. Wellness was supposed to be the gyms and stuff like that. And what it meant from a product perspective was RX or prescription medicines, which used to be a big chunk, actually got into what I call the OTC and VMS, which is vitamins, mineral supplements.
So can you please help me understand all these categories first so that I can write it down?
So the product perspective is wellness products, which is in a way quasi FMCG. We call it health essentials. So when you take an Electral C, it's all on the wellness side. Either you're building up your body, you're building up your muscle strength, or you're trying to rehydrate yourself. Then comes the OTC products, which is your classical OTC, Vicks, Iodex, Volines, where you don't need to go to a doctor. So that's the second part of the product. Third is what is called as RX. RX is anything where you need a prescription. So the prescription products have to be given by a practitioner. And even within that, there are various kinds of drugs. There are various categories. The ones which you can buy online and the ones which you cannot buy online, like anything which has got OPMs. So these are the categories. Now, typically a youngster, which in this case the Gen Z, will be in this side of the spectrum. Frequency is typically a month. Could be as high as 4K, 5K. So that's the world that they're in. And these two is what the Gen Z speak. But like I said, not very brand conscious. They're also not very deal conscious, but they like things in small bites. I can't build a long term. They are never my most loyal customers. But once they come in, the ability to constantly keep them excited is much higher. So my AI engine work towards it. The nudges that will come will work towards it. Let's take the example of diagnostics. These guys will not do it in one shot. Typically, we'll just spend half a day, take it, have the consults. It's a planned event. For them, it's not a planned event. So the behavior is, the way they analyze their needs, precipitate their needs is very different. And that's one of the reasons why healthcare, I would say, is around 15 years behind vis-a-vis, say, banking or payments. Because what happens at a much higher frequency happens at a lower frequency. It's still, we used to have this term around 5 years back, research online, buy offline. Here, these guys discover online, end up usually buying online, but it's not a very consistent behavior. It keeps moving around. A minimalist. It started off as a very pure digital brand, but built it up. And then one of the big guys took over. Here, skin is huge. Dermatology, whether it is your acne, whether it is your dandruff, whether it is winter story, you can talk about XYZ brands which are huge. And therefore, medicated oils or even plain oils. Shampoo. There is a subtle shampoo which is very glamour driven. There is a shampoo which will be. And this is where the credibility of influencers, social media plays a big role. It could be a much smaller segment or a cohort of customers, but for them, that person is relevant. And unfortunately, doctors have not yet fitted into it. Which is a discipline which is in most demand?
Which one, sir?
Dermatics. No, dermats.
Oh.
Dermats.
Oh.
Earlier, it used to be a cardiac surgeon, a neurosurgeon.
Now it's dermites.
You did aeronautics. It's dermites. Top 1,000 ranks, the big chunks, because it's great work-life balance. I can sit in India and take care of the US and Canadian citizens. And this market is booming like mad. Sexual wellness, another category. Mental illness is one, but you're still grappling how to find a solution for it. So like this, there are categories which are evolving. Minerals and supplements, pure bodybuilding. On one side, you have products which are obesity, weight loss. On the other side, there is a theory of saying, how do I keep myself fit? So this story is working in tandem.
Now, from Madhi sir's answer, there are three massive opportunities that you need to spot in the healthcare market right now based on this insight. Firstly, stop trying to sell health to Gen Z. Sell them wellness. They don't care about cholesterol. They care about VMS, vitamins, minerals, and supplements. Secondly, if you're building a D2C brand, focus on dermatology, sexual wellness, or gym supplements. These are high-frequency impulse buy products because this generation cares about looking good and feeling good today and not 20 years from now. Thirdly, if you're a doctor or a medical practitioner, start creating content on Instagram and YouTube immediately. Like Madhi sir said, dermatology is the hottest field, and yet doctors are losing to influencers because they lack digital distribution. So if you combine your medical credibility with the content engine, you can become the most trusted voice in the room. And now, moving on to Akhil sir's insight. Akhil sir, tell me about buying and renting, sir. This is something, first of all, it does very well on Reels and Shorts. So I will have to ask you a question on that. But you tell me, you're the perfect person to tell us whether buying is better or renting is better because you do both and you're a beneficiary of both.
See, if you just ask about buying versus renting, I think everybody tries to put a reel or their own analysis. Somebody will say renting is buying better, somebody will say buying is better.
Yeah.
But I think it depends on where exactly you are in the stage of your life. Early, when you have just moved out of college, you are taking your first house, obviously you cannot buy it. Your consumption loans are smaller micro loans, correct? You can take a 10,000, 20,000 rupees loan, but to buy a house, you need a big chunk. And then as a regulation, anywhere between 20 to 10% is something what you'll need as a down payment. As you graduate in your life, getting married, getting settled, you know, you have done with your studies, you want to be in this particular city, in this particular field, it is much more senseful to buy a house. In 14-15, average age of buying a house was 40-41. Now it has come down to 31, 32. And I feel it will further come down. There are multiple reasons for that. You have that sense of ownership, correct? And if you go pre-COVID, there was this big debate, correct? You can just live on renting.
Shared economy was a big thing.
Shared economy, be a nomad, don't have association with anything and everything is available. You just throw money, get credit and all those things. But when the COVID hit, the only thing what you needed was a house, correct? There's a drastic change. So there is no correct answer whether to rent or buy. It will always depend on where exactly you are in your life. So he was talking about F&O and all those things, but this is like taking a bet on something which is coming. And house infrastructure, as India is growing, correct, it is the biggest industry. You cannot be a developed country without a good infrastructure, better living standard and all those things. With Gen Z, it is apps, it is influencers, it is shorts, it is videos, and these guys, they want to do it themselves. So I call it DIY generation. Now, when we used to look for houses, there was a de facto broker in your community or in your society. You will go to him and say, boss, I am looking for a house on rent, or I want to sell or buy this house. And that broker will know everybody. Sharma ji ke paas ye ghar hai, inke paas ye ghar hai, and any deal comes in, they will go and they'll try to make it connect. But that was so ridiculously inefficient because you were never able to go beyond that particular suburb or beyond the capacity of that particular broker, which platform at NoBroker we have solved, where we have made it digital. So, and now you can choose whom you want to give your property on rent, from whom you want to buy, what exactly you want to buy. You have hundreds and thousands of options available in front of you. And that is what a Gen Z loves.
How do you think the Gen Z is behaving differently as compared to the millennials in the real estate space?
So I think millennials have been in the era where we have learned a lot of things from our parents, which is more about saving, be conscious, yet digital, correct? So we have always been very price conscious that, okay, iska kitna value aane wala hai. With Gen Z, as Samir was saying, they want consumption. They want it fast. So they don't shy away from paying. If you are able to give them good service, they will pay for it. They want it at their leisure. They want to open the app, they want to look for houses. And we see a lot of searches happening at 11, 12 p.m. in the night.
Okay.
And 1 a.m. in the night, because then you are free. So from all perspectives, if you have kids are sleeping, you and your wife can quickly go to the app and see this I like. You go there onto the app. Tell us more about you, correct? What kind of a person you are. Give me more details about with whom do you want to live, where exactly you want to live, where is your office, where is your partner's office, how much you are ready to travel. Basis that, using technology and AI, we are able to triangulate and give them the searches. And if they have the question, they can just call that number where there is a virtual digital AI agent sitting who can talk in the language they speak, which can be Hindi, English, Marathi, Telugu, Tamil, whatever it is, at the time when they want. It can be 12 in the night, with the same tonality, same modality, with no biases. They love it. They want to use that particular
Does this
thing.
happen on WhatsApp?
It happens on WhatsApp. It happens on... So now the journeys are omni-channel, multi-model.
Omni-channel?
Omni-channel, multi-model, multilingual actually.
Okay.
So conversation can start on a website with a search, on a website chat. It moves when there is a trust. They give you their number, they verify it, they move it to WhatsApp, where they are getting the details of the property. They are asking you the questions. There are agents which are deployed there. And if they have a question, either you call them and they call you. And they call you on PSTN or they call you on WhatsApp. By the way, people prefer WhatsApp calling much more these days than PSTN, because of all the reasons that every single call which you put on PSTN is a spam, because that's what operators are doing these days, because they have to make money by marking everything as spam. So they want to do it on WhatsApp. They want to call on WhatsApp. They want to talk on WhatsApp.
Sir, how is a business supposed to use WhatsApp to get closer to the customer? Because what I've seen lately is that WhatsApp has become an operating system. Yesterday, we were discussing about the study that was done in Africa, where WhatsApp has become the operating system because they don't have a lot of data to consume. They have very less storage space. They don't trust a lot of websites. In WhatsApp, you don't have to enter passwords or you don't have to log in. It's just absolutely seamless. And what I've observed is that, especially with Make My Trip also, earlier I used to check text messages. Now, if it is on WhatsApp, it's safe. And everything I do, I search on WhatsApp only. My question is, as we are witnessing the age of AI, how do you think a business can use WhatsApp to get closer to the customer A? And how can they optimize their sales funnel to take the customer from maybe discovery or maybe consideration all the way to sales? How is NoBroker doing it?
So I'll give you an example, and that's a very, very fascinating thing what we have done, and we are very proud of. When we started in 15, correct? So apps was new. It was Android phone was new. But one thing which penetrated extremely fast was WhatsApp, correct? And WhatsApp is one application which is used by somebody at 14, 15 years till somebody who is 90 years, correct? One big problem at NoBroker when we were listing the properties in 15, 16, and this is what all the VCs used to ask was that listings to aa jayenge, but how will you get the photographs of the listings? And if you go back and if you recall in 14, 15, 16, the classified platforms, they used to have listing without photographs. At NoBroker, you will not find any listing without photograph. And this is from almost 8, 10 years back. What we did, and very, very simple hack. As you have listed the property, everybody had WhatsApp. We used to just drop a WhatsApp message to them. Whenever you have the photos, you just reply to this message with all the photographs.
I remember doing that on NoBroker.
You have done that, correct? And now, but with that, there's a lot of responsibility which comes, because when somebody elder is using it, when they select something from gallery, by mistake, they'll select that good morning message which was sent in the morning, or there may be some personal photographs of theirs, and you cannot bring it up onto the platform, correct? I'm talking about 15, 16. So we built a lot of machine learning algorithms where we were doing object identification in the images, saying, okay, this looks like a kitchen image, this is a living room image, and this is sent by the owner itself, correct? Take these pictures. If you have to do a little bit of enhancement, do that particular thing, put it against the property. That was the simplest use case. That time, even WhatsApp didn't have anything called WhatsApp business.
Oh,
There was no WhatsApp business.
okay.
And we have been doing it from that particular day. Started with some humans who used to take those pictures, looks, upload, correct and upload, to 0 people now. Everything happens from AI. To you sending contacts on WhatsApp, you connect owner, tenant on a WhatsApp group with your person in between. There is an AI agent sitting in, people talking in WhatsApp, to the deals getting closed on WhatsApp and money being transferred on
Everything
WhatsApp.
is being done on WhatsApp.
Yeah. A lot of it is happening on WhatsApp. Not everything, but a major part happens on, because WhatsApp is part of your life now.
So, considering conversational AI as a concept, how do you think a business can actually tap into this opportunity and get closer to the customer?
At NoBroker also, so we have close to 4,000 agents, correct? The call center, customer care executives. And for any business where you have a front-facing people, the way they talk to your customer, they define your brand image. You need to ensure that how do you manage your SOPs. So with conversation AI, the power what you get now is you can very well audit every conversation which is happening, which typically used to happen maybe 2, 3, 4% of the calls. Now every single call can be audited in real time. You can assist your agents. So at NoBroker, we have something called Convozen. When our agents are speaking, there is a small pop-up which comes. It says, okay, you have covered this part of your call reason. You have not covered this, do this. If there is a tonality which is being changed, there is abuse which is coming from our side, we stop it there. Or if you are not able to stop it, immediately after the call, it goes to their managers, they rectify that particular thing. Once we did that, we realized that what you need is a human-like AI. There's a limitation, correct? As a human, you can work for certain hours, you can talk only certain languages. With the machine, I can create a AI which can speak all the languages, available 24/7. It will do only the stuff which I have trained it to do. It will never deviate, and it will always be democratic and non-biased.
Got it. But sir, how are you using WhatsApp to get closer to your customers?
Like Akhil said, the voice part of the story is huge. One of the biggest reasons of why only the Gen Z is stuck in digital or millennial is stuck in the other guys are not moving in is because of the comfort that you have with voice. And unfortunately, telecom is becoming very expensive. So if you can have a WhatsApp mechanism where the loop gets closed, it's not just a call. And if you can use the AI engine, imagine an AI engine sitting within WhatsApp and is taking care of it. I don't need to download an app. An app or a website gives you 100 things. You want only 5 out of it. If I can create a customized version, कि आपका prescription है, आपका report है, आपके दवा हैं जो खरीद रहे हो. How do I make it free? For me, frequency is important. I want consistency. So if you can build those kind of a story. Second, the doctor's thing which I spoke about video. Today I run a standalone technology which I'll have to maintain it. Bring the doctors in, bring the pharmacist in, bring the customer in, bring any kind of a reference that you want. And the good thing is the ability to disperse content is huge. Everybody loves to, while you can watch a video, you can watch a PDP, you can watch stories. That's how it gets spread. Today, when I think the omni, multimodal, multi-channel, multilingual is a story which needs to be exploited. So how do you build this end-to-end story, retain it, is what the way we look at WhatsApp. And for me, the big opportunity lies in the triaging between the customer, a provider, and the payer.
Customer, provider, and the payer.
The payer is an insurance company, a payment engine, a credit card, or whatever. So that think of it how you finance it. Customer is a guy who's getting the services. And the provider could be a doctor, the provider could be a pharmacist, the equivalent of an urban company model, but in the healthcare space, because all these are variables. The only thing that I can take care of it is the transactions element. But when it comes to the experience, the empathy, that feel, WhatsApp has the potential to build it up. So they have to evolve, we have to evolve with them and find how to marry these three.
Got it. Sir, Ask Apollo is one of the most successful things that you started, right? And largely that is on WhatsApp. So how has Ask Apollo transformed customer experience? And how has it benefited you as a business?
So first, let me tell you what is Ask Apollo. Ask Apollo was born out of the 42 years of data of the Apollo clinical data combined with transactional data. So think again of the layers. There is medical data when you get admitted to the Apollo hospital, all at a metadata form. We don't get into. That has created the equivalent of a OpenAI for us. On top of it, transaction data. Dawa kya kharida? Dosage badla ki nahi? Did it change? Kiske liye kharida? Top of it, you get the diagnostic data. I have got my annual health report. I got my HB1AC report. So what is happening is, there is a treasure trove of unique data, both at a generic level and at an individual level, getting created in the digital world, which is the data lake story that we spoke about. On top of it, we started, like I said, with a machine learning model, and then we now built a AI model, which is not using one underlying temple. I use Gemini, I use OpenAI, I use LLM, I use Meta. So this bit of knowing which API should I use or which AI engine should I use for what purpose is important. We started this in our app, but then it was limited only to my app. The app is, no matter what, I'm still 10%. The world has not yet moved everybody, which is where when WhatsApp came out with that Meta story, we said, why should I keep it imprisoned within my app? Let me take it out and put it on WhatsApp. Let me go and visually advertise it. Everybody goes into ChatGPT to check, yaar, mujhe thand lag rahi hai, kya ho gaya? Boss, go to an expert who understands medicine. Go to a person who has your data and then ask this question. So when I ask about a certain, let's say, how do I put it? My feet is paining. And he asks, he's not a diabetic. I am a diabetic. Agar mera pair mein dard ho raha hai, ya mera eyes hazy ho raha hai, the implication is very different. Why should I limit it to only my app? How can I put it on a WhatsApp story? And that's my big power with WhatsApp. It's an unfulfilled potential is, how do I make that as a bridge? If Ask Apollo effectively moves out of my app and becomes an independent.
It's not the best products that win, the best known products win.
Exactly. I love this line.
You should make a channel out of it.
Exactly. That's what we are trying to do. And once you do it, I can do diagnostic from, ye sab baaki sab chalega. So ask the questions. It'll you go and meet Dr. Samir Shetty. Bana diya aapka doctor. How do I solve? Because he's good at this. He's good at this.
Trust target, the customer will pay.
And I'm endorsing him. I'm saying I'm sending him to you because he's a guy who understands the symptom very well. And this I can do again through WhatsApp. So the disbursement, the distribution mechanism is possible. That's where I am.
So it's like AI doctor on WhatsApp.
अरे भैया आपने बोल दिया हम बोल नहीं सकते उसको because of the health care. If it's banking, I would have put it. I can't say AI doctor. He will be an AI assistant.
We've been on WhatsApp for a while actually. We started by saying pretty much like Madhu you mentioned, we have the branch channel. A customer can go to the branch, do whatever he or she wants to do. We have our mobile app, internet banking. Customer come to mobile app, do whatever they can do in the branch on the mobile app. Go to internet banking, do it there as well. Said WhatsApp can be a fourth channel that come to WhatsApp and do whatever you want to do. Today, our WhatsApp is equal to our internet banking in terms of customers. So as many customers use WhatsApp as they use internet banking. Now we see some trends, right? So number one, it's a channel that people are very comfortable using for, checking balances, basic services. They are fine. It is still not a channel for concluding product sales. It is a great channel for initiating product sales. So a lot of our, by the way, when we do digital marketing, WhatsApp is the highest conversion, like highest CTR channel.
What do you mean, sir? How do you use that for digital marketing?
Like, let's say you have a pre-qualified personal loan offer. We'll send you a message saying, you have a pre-qualified personal loan of X lakhs for Y%. Click here, whatever, right? We'll send it to you on WhatsApp. Sometimes we'll send it to you on SMS. Sometimes we'll send you on email. Sometimes we'll show it to you on your app as well. The highest conversion, the highest CTR is a hyper-personalized message on the app. The second highest is the WhatsApp message. And the WhatsApp is multiple times of the SMS and the SMS is multiple times of the email. But from there, the customer gets on to either our website or to our internet or our mobile banking and finishes the journey there. The sale in WhatsApp itself hasn't yet taken off. I think it's a little bit of, some technology interventions, but also customers thinking about this as a platform for concluding. But on the other side, it has worked quite well. Like queries, we've put our AI engine behind our WhatsApp. Customers can ask queries, and queries can be as simple as where is the closest branch to me. Financial services journeys are very complicated. It takes typically 15-20 minutes for you to finish a product purchase. Now, what we find is that very few people finish the entire thing in the first go. Typically, they'll then get bored, drop off, or they'll think that they want to check something else, they'll drop off. They'll come back the next day, they'll drop off again, come back the next day, etc. So what we do is that the moment you drop off a journey, you get a message on WhatsApp saying that, look, you initiated this, here is our proposition, here's our offer, click here to restart, right? 6 hours after you've dropped off, you will get one more WhatsApp, and the next day you will get one more. And the conversion through this is, again, it is spectacular. It's a great channel. So we'll also do it via SMS, also do via email, but WhatsApp just scores materially higher. The fundamental thing here this is customer behavior, right? I think today very few people read SMSs and emails.
Correct.
Uh,
It's only for OTP.
It's only for OTP, and emails have figured out to mark the personal emails, right? Like the emails which have come from a person versus the ones which have come from mass mailers, and so people don't read the others. WhatsApp is still a channel that people look at and read, and that's a big benefit from a consumer mindset perspective.
And also, if a lot of people mark your message as spam, you can then no longer reach to the customer on WhatsApp, right?
Yeah, which is the right thing.
Yeah.
So as an example, we have throttling. So we ourselves have a rule which says that customer X can get only X messages a week from us.
What is the number of messages that you send, sir? Like maximum limit?
One a week.
One a week.
Yeah.
That's a healthy number you've seen.
Yeah. Otherwise, WhatsApp will throttle us, and people kind of start marking spam and so on and so forth. And I think it is necessary to do that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, what stops WhatsApp from becoming another SMS?
That's exactly what I was talking about.
So it is important for that channel to be clutter-free, and I'm sure kind of they are thinking about this as well.
Now, the point to be noted over here is that if you're a founder, you need to wake up to the WhatsApp reality. Here are 2 actionable steps based on this conversation. Firstly, stop trying to force users into your website and your app. Treat WhatsApp as your primary operating system. Like Akhil sir just explained, that NoBroker hacked WhatsApp growth even before WhatsApp business was a thing. Secondly, supercharge your sales team with conversational AI. You cannot physically audit every sales call that your team makes, but AI can. Use tools that can listen to these calls in real time and give your agents nudges. This turns an average support agent into a super agent who speaks every language and never has a bad day. So do look into conversational AI because it is the next big thing. So now I want to talk to you about white spaces. Again, all 3 of you guys are at the perfect vantage point to have a look at all the white spaces. We were discussing about a few startups which look very, very fancy on paper, but nobody knows when they will become profitable in the first place, right? Samir, tell me something. As a person who runs such a large bank, you're the 3rd largest bank in the country. So I would assume that you know everything about fintech that a new age entrepreneur possibly knows. And you know all the white spaces. So give me some secret white spaces that entrepreneurs can now jump into.
We have to first realize that financial services is, I think, the 2nd oldest profession in the world. So whatever had to be invented has been invented. A deposit account is a deposit account is a deposit account. A loan is a loan is a loan. So the product itself, I'll be very surprised if somebody can come up with a new financial services product. It will address the same thing in a different kind of manner, right?
As in, products and services in the financial services space will not change. They'll remain the same. The mediums might change.
Yes.
The mediums might change.
How you deliver it will definitely change. It can be much easier, much smoother, much faster. All of those are real possibilities.
Sounds good, sir. Madhi sir, what do you think about this? What are the 3 biggest white spaces in the health and wellness space that brands are not tapping enough of?
Let me try and frame it in 3 different ways. One, like Samir was saying, what does the macro economy have in place for us and what are the options that it is going to open up in the healthcare space? First, white space, which could be one of the mega macro trends is, while you are a baby boomer and a younger Gen Z and the Gen millennials which are coming in who are very digitally savvy, by 2030, we will have 230 to 250 million senior citizens, typically above the age of 60, for whom healthcare is the center of their life. So how do you manage this space in a very unique way is a mega opportunity. India is a diabetic capital. Diabetes means I'll have food diseases. Cardiovascular still rules the roost. But the good thing is, पहला operation के बाद you become insurable. Because आपकी stent लगा दिया, आपकी machine अच्छी चल रही है, 15 साल तो कहीं नहीं गए, contribute करते रहो, अच्छे रहोगे. So, the insurance companies have started looking at it differently with the scale and technology. So, but this bit is hyper-personalization. If I were to combine the first one, which I told you with the data, the PHR, Ask Apollo, creating what is called as a longitudinal record of your life, like a bureau. And this is all digital. We are not going around with a folder जिसमें हम 15 फाइल है, जिसमें papers है. You're building a digital record of it and you can take insights out of it. Earlier digital was, भैया उसमें भी doctor ढूंढेगा. I can make a comprehensive summary ki Madhi, you're 56, these are the various chronic things you have, this is how your life has shaped, And by the way, this is what your PHR, you want to transfer it to your doctor doesn't need to take it into a bundle in a WhatsApp and send it to him and build a trend around it. So this ecosystem of hyper-personalizing digitally and building service units, like you said, you have to get that 1 lakh people and do very well with them. Imagine if I have 100 cohorts of 100,000 each. One guy buying muscle blaze, the other guy buying Monjaro. Bhai, ek patla ho raha hai aur ek majboot ho raha hai. That's the kind of thing that healthcare needs to do. And I have been in both these industries. Boss, healthcare is way behind. And the APIs are much better. Your services are much better. So if this ecosystem can play out, and what is it that's pulling us all down here? Cost of acquisition. How do you get this new customer? Imagine in this collaborative world, if there are people who are willing to bridge this, I wouldn't call it arbitrage, but actually bring things together. A TWID is a good example of a reward system aggregator. Reward is sitting all our balance sheets, including me. I have 300 crores of reward sitting in my health pool. You must be some 1,500 crores because you can't wave it off in your, it sits in your balance sheet. If that becomes alternate currency, you find out, do you want to go and get your next health check through that? Do you want to take your next vacation through that? Is Indigo willing to fund that and use it as a pool of money? So like this, you have to find that health ecosystem. That's my third mega trend in my mind. You start off with a thin file, which is, I started saving money on this account. Then you gave him a credit card. He started spending. So the file, the analogy I'll leave, the file keeps becoming thicker and thicker in the financial world. The thicker the file, better are your credit profile, better are your investment. पैसे बन गया तो कोई ना कोई customer बन ही जाता. Same, imagine the same thing is in health. As a youngster, what did I have? As my file, health file becomes thicker and thicker, I am able to give you very unique customized medicine. I just need those 100,000 people who are specific. You heard about this obesity drug called Monjaro, which has become the #1 brand in 4 months.
In 4 months?
4 months. Augmentin used to be the biggest pharma brand. Now it's Monjaro. And there are 3-4 are waiting. The Ozempic will come in. Wegovy is already there. Now, who are these customers? Coming back to the question of luxury car, I'll take Ozempic either for vanity, क्योंकि मुझे 6 महीने में शादी अटेंड करनी है, पतला होना है, or I might take it because I'm a diabetic, and Ozempic and these products actually came because they were cure for diabetics. So unlike banking, where I can say 12% by Lelo loan, here you have to be much more specific. The implications are higher, and it will never happen without a doctor blessing it. So how do my doctors play that role is equally important. So these are 3-4 mega spaces within which there are hundreds and thousands of opportunities for people to build there.
Got it. Guys, the last question that I have for you is, how do you build trust in this noisy world that we're living in? Because everybody's trying to sell something or the other. Everybody's doing content these days. Everybody's doing performance marketing these days, and everybody has large claims. And I understood the value of trust when I went to buy an insurance policy. And that's when I realized that I buy insurance via Ditto. Ditto is an insurance aggregator. And the reason why I love them is because they stand for trust. You call them and you tell them that I want XYZ insurance policy. If it's costly for you, they will ask you to buy another insurance policy which is cheaper but more beneficial to you. And that is when I realized that the next time I want to buy insurance, I will never buy it from an insurance company directly. I will always go to Ditto. And that seal of trust is something that is priceless, right? So since trust will become more and more valuable in this noisy world that we live in, the question is, how do you cultivate that trust in this noisy world?
See, trust in healthcare is embedded. If I don't have trust, I have no right to be in this business. For a hospital, I have to trust the doctor. अपना जिंदगी उसके हाथ में डाल रहा हूँ. I'm going into an operation. He is a guy who's putting the stuff, and I hope to come back alive. My daughter calls them patient party. They are waiting outside, more anxious. Anxiety is core in health. Whether you're buying a medicine, am I buying it authentic or not? भाई मैंने क्रोसिन खरीदा कुछ और निकला. And this is very rampant in India. It's not that people tend to pop up pills and stuff. So trust is very embedded in the healthcare model. So I cannot do a Ditto equivalent of building a narrative around it. For me, instead of the narrative, I have to walk the path. So the more the number of chances that each of these things are done properly is important.
So how do I know that when I go to an Apollo hospital, I'm not being oversold?
Which is the second part of the story. Let's come for it. So this is the first one. So first is, I want to get cured. The second is what you're seeing, the billing part of it, the transparency part of it. What is it? And there is this big social media stuff going around that PAs have invested into hospital and therefore everybody is under pressure. Actually, you go, and again, I asked my daughter, saying, why is it that doctors prefer to ask more and more? There was a time when we were younger, where the GP would mota take care of 80% of your problems. No digital data, nothing. There was this intuition with which you would build. As the medical profession is sort of getting more mature, the layering is happening. A GP takes care of acute. There are specialists who are, and the specialization is so specific that, a gastro person will say that there is a complication because of this, but however, I'm not the best guy to say, go to the... So what people are doing is they're playing it safe by asking for tests. See, again, this is a gray world. You will never know what is black and what is white. But in a big chunk, it's always that bit key, if it is good for you, and that's where the trust comes in of, is this doctor trustworthy? Is this hospital trustworthy? What is the kind of repeat business that's coming? So I can do a metric saying out 99.99% of the operations for cardiac was successful because these guys are experts in stent, and here is this star doctor group which is doing it. Similarly, in healthcare, I can give this hyper equivalent and say, I am giving a certificate of authenticity. Please be assured that I take care of all the chains, and that's for an Apollo. You will never get anything wrong because I source it, I distribute it. I am actually having a hospital who is recommending the same thing, and we have the same pipeline which goes through. Similarly for diagnostics, I might use different reagents in different level, but it depends on the accuracy. A doctor might say, "Bhai, iske मामले में ना मेरे को 19-20 का भी गलती नहीं चाहिए. I want that accurate." You tend to take more. So the trust is in the hospital care industry. It is by practice. The billing part of it, I think there is a story. It's not that, but the openness, and that's where digital come in. I had a gallbladder surgery. The day I walked into the hospital, they asked me to download one Chota web app in which it say, "Aapne 50,000 rupees advance diya." It becomes a bit. And every time what they were detecting, they're showing me. Abhi aapka ye bandage aaya. Abhi aapko ye catheter laga. So when you see that, you feel, हाँ भाई, catheter might be more expensive. They might not give you discounts. You know, हाँ भैया तुम जिंदगी बचा रहे हो, discount मांगोगे क्या? So that kind of a story plays out. So the more transparency that you're able to do, I can do it in WhatsApp. भाई आपके पास update आता रहेगा. Group बना लीजिए. The hospital, you and the doctor. Continuously it's working at how do you build solutions like this. So trust gets built by walking the talk. The last trust story will play out when insurance becomes covers it. Insurance आता ना एक third party आ जाता है who is trying to keep the cost under pressure क्योंकि bill उसको देना है. So that's where the balance comes in. So this is how healthcare trust will build in. These ecosystems have to play. That will build even big because the trust is not limited to the hospital. It is limited to the external ecosystem of people who are attached to you as a service.
For banking, at I would say 2 levels. First is, banking is all about trust. Actually, if you're putting money with someone, you need to really trust. That trust comes from the regulatory kind of oversight, blessing, etc.
Government.
RBI.
Not government, RBI. Private banks are not government, yeah.
Central bank, right? The central bank has put all kinds of checks and balances to ensure that your money will be safe. A lot of trust comes from just the regulatory oversight. But there is a second level, which is one trust is my money safe or not? The second trust is, I went to a restaurant with 4 of my friends and now I'm presenting my card. Does my card work or not?
Consistency in function.
Yeah, in every interaction, right? And there actually banking has a massive challenge, which is that, you can never delight a customer. If the payment goes through, the payment went through, what's the big deal?
Correct.
Right? But अगर UPI एक दिन आधे घंटे के लिए down हो गया, so then the world will come crashing down. So you only have downside, right? There is no upside. And so ensuring that your tech works, your ops works, there are no cyber security events and so on and so forth is where a lot of the banking trust comes from.
So keep things working all the time.
That's where you
very,
say
very
lending. Why do you think fintech lending, NBFCs are there? Because for them, they are not putting the money there. They're
Correct.
taking the money. They're pricing. What you ask for us, kitna charge kar rahe hain? Are they trying to put ad in hidden charges? Are they charging for every shipment? So that fear, again, the transparency comes. That's where I think the app, the web has played a mega role in shaping that stuff.
What do you think, sir? In your industry, how does it play out?
I think in any industry, trust cannot be overnight, correct? You will have to serve the customer. You will have to earn their trust. And as I was saying, like in NoBroker when we started, and real estate is a very high value game, correct? For somebody to trust you with 10,000, 50,000, 1 lakh or 1 crore rupee of property, what they are buying, you really need to be doing something good for them, correct? And that's how, if you see NoBroker journey, we started with rent, which is a low value transaction. And what we saw, somebody who has done 2 transactions or 3 rental transactions with us successfully, they came back to us and said, I want to buy a house. Can you help me with that particular thing? And when I was able to gain the trust of the customer by saving money for them because they didn't have to pay brokerage, they looked up to me asking, rent agreement karwa do, packers and movers chahiye, cleaning wala bhi jante ho kya? If there is a very good broker, this is how it used to happen, correct? One guy used to take care of everything. So now with technology, I am that guy who at scale, who is giving you that trust that boss, I'll be able to do it. And at the same time, you need to keep innovating and you'll have to keep accepting where you make mistakes, correct? Because customers are extremely ruthless, correct? So we go out and we say, okay, we are learning also. And it takes time. It takes immense amount of time because with growth, things will break. So you'll grow, some things will break, you will reshape them, you'll bring it into a shape. Now things are working fine, then you'll again grow. So I think it's a journey which will keep on happening. You run, you stop, you take a breather, you again run. So trust can only be earned by serving your customers with full honesty, with whatever SOP you have created. Trust cannot be earned just by making revenue, correct? You just can't say, yeah, I'll take money from you and then I am not liable for it.
Revenue is a byproduct of trust.
Yeah, and it's a good revenue, correct? And in this digital world, it may have happened in the past, like all the Ponzi schemes and all those things used to happen, correct? Where you could have made money, run away, and you live happily ever after. But now you cannot, correct? The biggest, if you go to Twitter, you go to Instagram, any companies, LinkedIn, you will only find complaints. Do you ever see a customer coming up and saying, I had a fabulous experience with NoBroker? You have to reach out to the customer and say, sir, please,
एक LinkedIn post डाल दो.
एक post डाल दो, ये मेरा बंदा खड़ा है, आप video बना दो. And that's the nature, because they want to reach out. And as he rightly said, somebody will go to Twitter and they'll tag everybody from your handle to PMO to government, and then they'll say that they are chore. Trust, you'll have to earn the trust. And you serve those customers and try to earn.
Got it. Thank you so much, guys. This was very, very insightful. I hope your first podcast experience was great.
But I think fantastic, and it was a masterclass for me also, I think.
Yeah.
Hearing both of these guys and getting the perspective, I think I have got some ideas also, which I can tell people that you can start.
All right. Before we say goodbye, here's a quick summary with all the call to actions from this episode. Number 1 is the EMI mandate. Gen Z has high aspirations but low liquidity. So if you sell anything above 5,000 rupees, you must offer an EMI option. Break the price down to monthly bites and you will see that the consumption will spike. Number 2 is gamify or die. Like Samir sir said, there were 260 million real money gamers versus 58 million investors. So if your app is boring, they will leave. So read Hooked by Niriyal and build dopamine loops into your product. Number 3, sell wellness and not cure. If you are in D2C, stop selling medicine, sell vitamins, proteins, and sexual wellness. Gen Z wants to look good and feel good now and not 20 years later. Number 4 is the doctor creator call to action. If you're a medical professional, get on Instagram. Creators are winning because they have distribution and you can build distribution too. So you can combine your degree with content to become the authority in that particular domain. The next call to action is to target the 30-year-old home owner. The rent versus buy debate is settled. The average buying age has dropped to 32. So pivot your real estate marketing to digital first channels targeting young professionals. Number 6, WhatsApp is an operating system. So stop forcing people to download your app. Move your entire funnel from collecting documents like NoBroker to customer service on WhatsApp. Number 7 is the nudge strategy. Copy Axis Bank's retargeting hack. And if a customer drops off your website, send them a WhatsApp nudge within 6 hours. It has the highest conversion rate of any channel. Number 8 is radical transparency. Build trust by showing every detail. Just like Apollo shows every bandage on the bill, remove the black box from your pricing because clarity cures anxiety. Number 9 is the trust ladder. Don't sell the flagship product on day 1. Follow NoBroker's model and serve the Gen Z with a low ticket item first so that you can earn their trust and then you can upgrade them to a high ticket item. These are the most important takeaways from this episode. So please note them very, very carefully and take action. And I just hope you learned something valuable from this episode. If you did, please hit the like button, and to support our work, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.